Tomorrow,
Come on down.
three guys give motherhood a try.
Ta-da!
Hello, Cinderella.
It's the premiere of Full House. Then, the wedding kept her from being deported, but the romance will have to wait.
Sing to you Spanish lullaby.
La Cucaracha.
Check. The premiere of I Married Dora. Then,
Brothers and sisters.
Edison uncovers a television evangelist. Max Headroom following the premieres of Full House and I Married Dora tomorrow.
This is going to be great. Yeah, right. We've actually taught Michelle to say Full House is moving to 8:30 Friday nights right after Perfect Strangers.
All right, Michelle, let her rip.
Don't miss Full House at its new time tonight at 8:30, 7:30 Central, right after Perfect Strangers.
Michelle. Your voice has changed.
It's a new night for Perfect Strangers.
That depends on what you plumbers consider an emergency.
Starting this Friday.
Did you see the Poseidon Adventure?
Then,
One night I went to bed a nerd and woke up looking like this. Isn't nature great?
The best.
Growing Pains Kirk Cameron guest stars with his real sister on Full House. And get a grip on laughs as Belvedere's on the move. Mr. Belvedere at its new time, 9, 8 Central. A new lineup of laughs Friday.
Hit it, dudes.
Go to floor party, won't you come along? Full House is rocking all week long. The guys are acting crazy, the girls so sweet. So watch Full House 5 times a week. Full House, you gotta see Full House. Come on and give the show a piece. Full House 5 times a week. Oh, the that just can't be beat. Full House 5 times a week.
Full House, weekdays on Fox 19.
Sitcom, all ye faithful, a Christmas podcast special, where for the third time I discuss 25 Christmas sitcom episodes. Please come and listen every day up through Christmas. I'm sure we'll feature Jeannie, the Tanners, and Nell Harper, Chandler, Big Mr. Roper. It will be dynamite. We'll definitely feature a character who says dynamite.
All right, here we go. Let's go, Danny. Okay, this is for our Christmas card. Everybody look merry, peaceful, and joyous. Okay, here we go. This is it. Everyone say Christmas cheese. Christmas cheese. Hold it, get it. No. Honey, come on. Here we go. Smile.
Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paperboy, evening TV. Did I get delivered here? Somebody tell me, please. This whole world's confusing me. Clouds as mean as you've ever seen. Ain't a bird who knows you're true. Then a little voice inside you whispers, don't sell your dreams so soon. Everywhere you look, there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. Everywhere you look, there's a place.
Happy Christmas Eve, everybody. Yes, it is the 24th of December. Just look at your calendar. It definitely is the 24th right now. And that means that we are back for the 24th day in a row talking Christmas sitcoms. Ladies and gentlemen, I saved one of the world's greatest shows towards the end. One of the greatest shows of all time for this almost end, the penultimate. I think that's the correct word. as today we are talking Full House, specifically season 2, episode 9, our very first Christmas show, originally aired December 16th, 1988. Let me give a quick synopsis on this episode. The Tanners are off to Colorado for a family reunion, and for some reason, Joey, Jesse, and Jesse's parents are going with them. But Christmas is in peril as snow forces them to land and get stuck at an airport. Will Santa be able to find them? Can the magic of Christmas survive? Will Jesse get lucky? So many questions to delve into, but thankfully, I am not here alone, ladies and gentlemen. Making his triumphant return to Geek Mentality and to Sitcom All You Faithful, his triumphant return to podcasting, because I don't think he's done it. He used to be a very prolific podcaster. Now he's just a dumb dad. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of Metallicast, the former co-host of WrestleFania, and my cousin Brandon. Welcome back to the show, and Merry Christmas.
Well, back yet again. Merry Christmas.
It's a
one and all.
If Gary's listening to this, it's a Christmas miracle.
I am.
We're going to promote this there on the
It
wrestling.
is a Christmas miracle to have us reunited in the podcast world here.
It's a trick. This is actually the wrestling podcast. I fooled you.
Well, joke's on you, because I am actually AI. I am an AI version of myself.
You are AI's hole.
I am, though, ready to go because I watched this episode months ago. I have zero notes. I have a winter lager I'm about to open right now.
Fantastic.
And in case you bore me, football is on the television because it is Christmas Eve and there is football on TV.
It is Christmas Eve. It is the Patriots playing on Christmas Eve.
Oh, yes. And
they're
normally I pay
losing
attention
right
to
now.
the Patriots, but
yes,
they're currently losing. What's the score there, Mike? Just to confirm, it is Christmas Eve.
I forget. I'm checking the score now. I think it's 0-0 because the game just started.
Oh, good call.
Quartering.
Good call.
Very good.
I always get thrown off of these primetime games,
yes.
you know?
Brandon, since it is Christmas Eve, before we kind of get put into Full House, and believe me, when I think of you, I think of these kind of 80s family shows. We did the Boy Meets World, whatever the hell it's called. We did Saved by the Bell, and now we're here talking Full House. But that's not the only reason that I asked you to be here on Christmas Eve, because it's definitely Christmas Eve. The real reason is because Christmas Eve, there's a real connection for us. We used to spend every Christmas Eve together. Even it was like before you went to prison, when you got out of prison, it was it never stopped. But we grew up spending Christmas Eve together. In fact, at first it was at our aunt and uncle's house. Then really early it was at our grandparents' house, but I don't even know if you were born then. Then it moved to our aunt and uncle's. To be honest, I don't even know if you were born then. Then we moved it to your house, and it stayed there up through the millennium, up through marriage, and at least some of us had kids by that point.
Yeah.
And then everyone kind of moved and got kids, and had kids, except me.
I got my kids.
Yeah.
I got them off the dark web.
Off a kids list.
That's another story for another podcast.
But they were worth it. They were worth the bitcoins.
Dark web Bitcoin Kids podcast coming soon to Fans Not Experts stuff.
So while everyone's moving on, I showed up on Christmas Eve one day and no one was there. I said, "Oh, I guess we're done doing this."
We did forget to tell you that one year. My parents had moved out of the house. But I heard you had a lovely Christmas Eve with the new family that lived there.
It was very nice. I mean, it was a lot of running. They were chasing and I was running. But now there's new traditions on Christmas Eve. Actually, this year we're going to our friends for the first time for, I guess, a Friendsmas. I don't know. I know it's Friendsgiving. I don't know if.
Well, you're there right now because it.
Oh, that's true. I'm sorry. I'm there. Well, I'm going to be there later tonight. Oh wait, I'm there right now because it's Christmas Eve.
And I'm just ignoring my wife and children. I told my kids. I told my kids, pretend like we're the Tanners stuck in an airport and Santa Claus is not coming because Daddy has a podcast to record.
And that is the right thing to say. I would have said it to my kids, but unfortunately, God struck me with impotence and I don't have any children. So here we are. Merry Christmas, everybody. This episode was so Christmassy and so corny and so wonderful.
Yeah.
And the most amazing thing that I got out of it was I sent you a text today talking about a certain guy that was on a certain TV show. He was on a show called, he was on a show called Smallville that we both love. But growing up, he was on a show called Dukes of Hazzard. Then I just happened to watch this episode tonight. And I look at this guy and I go, he looks kind of familiar. Then Michelle takes his wig off. And I realize, oh my God, that is Boss Hogg from Dukes of Hazzard. And he is the villain and I believe the hero of this episode.
Yes. Yeah.
As he, now tell me everything you know about this episode since you watched it months ago. Go.
Well, I did watch it months ago, but I have seen it quite a few times.
I have a feeling I watched it the night, when it came out in 1988. And were you even born then?
1988?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
I I don't know how old.
3. I was like 3.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we remember that.
My 4-year-old loves Full House.
Very good.
Through the power of streaming, we can watch every episode on Max, as it's now called. But when I say we could watch every episode, the option's there. But usually there are 3 episodes he asks for. One is the two-parter when Jesse and Becky go to Las Vegas to get married. And they do not, and spoiler, they don't end up actually tying the knot there.
Oh my God.
2, the classic Beach Boys episode.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can't. How could you ignore that?
With my favorite line where
it changed John Stamos' life.
The Beach Boys go, they come to the house and they ask them to hang out, and they go, whether delivers the line, you're like, why don't we order a vegetarian pizza? It's a great episode. Great episode. We also to a lesser extent, if I'm going to throw a 4th episode in there is also the one where they go to Hawaii, as every sitcom did.
And the Disney World one.
We haven't gone to the Disney World yet. My daughter will adore that one. We have a hard time making it past season 2 because she's become obsessed with these few episodes.
Which one does Danny make the itinerary in that they have to stick to? Is that Disney?
That's the Hawaiian, I think.
That is the Hawaii one.
And it could be both. Let's be honest here.
It makes more sense.
The Hawaiian one is he has a strict itinerary, but everybody can choose what they want to do, but everybody has to do what everybody else wants to do. It's like when Jesse does his Elvis Hawaii tour, everybody's got to go on it. And and of course dysfunction occurs, only to, spoiler, everything works out in the end. And Joey's really horny for this Hawaiian chick that he feels like he keeps daydreaming about, but then she becomes real at the end. And of course only Joey Gladstone, he gets all the ladies.
He's like, whip it out.
And but the 3rd episode that my daughter absolutely adores is this Christmas episode. So while it's been months since I've seen it, I have seen it numerous times over the last.
So you're well versed in
months.
it.
Yeah.
Our very first Christmas show, which again is very meta because why would they say show? They're not on a show. They're human beings. They're real people.
It's real to me, damn it.
First thing I noticed is Danny borrowed a video camera. Did he borrow it, or he's taping the whole thing so that he can get a tax write-off for Good morning. Wake up, San Francisco.
Wake up, San Francisco. I think, yeah.
But
now, can I just say?
Oh yes, please.
They, if we're gonna, they get on this airplane, right?
Small airplane.
It's a small airplane, and in fairness to the guy who we'll get to in a moment, right? Boss Hoggs, he is the Tanner family is the absolute most annoying.
Oh yeah, they're harassing him.
Airplane. And they come on, and everybody's like, "Hey," they're basically like, "Hey, everybody, we're going on our first family vacation," as if everybody on the airplane's supposed to care and cheer and applaud for them. Meanwhile, Joey's Danny's filming everything. Joey's announcing everything, and it's like, guys, shut up, sit down. We already saw you have 3 kids, including a baby. Everybody around you's already worried. And now you're making it worse. You're escalating things. And then who shows up out of the blue? I mean, you talked about the ridiculousness of having all of them coming, plus Jesse's parents.
That's what threw me off. Jesse's parents. I get Joey and Jesse because they have nothing else going on.
Well, the Jesse parents are the grandparents.
But they're the grandparents, but they're going to the Tanner family. So it's not, they're like, I could see if Danny went to the Katsopoulos, is that the last name? That family reunion. And then Danny would go and the parent, that would make all the sense. I don't understand why, because even he goes, there's going to be a lot of grandkids there. None of them mine. Like, wait, so they are, but wait a minute. They are the they're the father.
He's the grandparents because Danny married Jesse's sister.
Right. So his grandkids are right there. And he goes, none of them are going to be mine. Yeah, they're all there. Right. Maybe say grandbabies, maybe, but still, Michelle's a baby. Like it just made no sense. Like, think of it. Like you're going to imagine bringing your parents to like to Emily's like family reunion. It doesn't and your friend and one of your friends and your brother-in-law, or I mean, it doesn't make a lick of sense.
Right. Yeah.
And yet he's there basically. Jesse's the mother's useless. The dad's there just to be like, go get her, go do it, get her.
Dad just wants Jesse to get laid. That's all he wants to do.
See that Christmas sweater? I want to see your hand under it by the end of this episode. What episode, Dad? The episode I'm having right now.
By the way, can we look up real quick? What is Jesse's last name? Because he's known as Jesse Katsopoulos.
Katsopoulos, right? Yeah.
But I feel like, look what his last name was in the first season. I feel like I could be wrong here, but I feel like he had a different last name in season 1.
Okay, so I'm going to look up now. You know this stuff more than most normal folk. Full House. They will show he is listed as, okay, I got a big ad. He is listed as, well, see, there's a dot there. So let's see. Because it's Jesse Katsopoulos. Jesse Cochran?
Yes.
Jesse, no, wait a minute. Am I correct?
Yes, this is correct. I'm looking at, so it's Jesse Cochran.
Because he got rid of the Greek to be like a rock star. Yeah. And then didn't his parents guilt him out of using that and going back to Katsopoulos? I swear I thought that was
was it an actual plot point? That I don't remember.
Okay, Jesse's character was originally named Jesse Cochran. Stamos reportedly wanted his character to better reflect his Greek heritage, so producers decided to change the character's surname. So there was no storyline unless they made a storyline. Honestly, who was paying attention,
Right. And Jesse, I've learned from rewatching season 1 with my daughter that he like, there's every episode, it's like one of those things where I feel like every episode he had a new job. Like one episode he's a mechanic, the other episode he's in his dad's like a bug infection,
right.
Business, and then
don't they open an ad agency? Him and Joey.
Oh, and then him and Joey get into advertising, writing like radio jingles, and then they were ahead of their time because there's an episode where their boss comes to their house because they work from home.
The best.
This was just an obvious way to like explain how Joey and Jesse make money yet are home all day with the girls because work from home didn't exist. So this was just some like bullshit thing they made up. But fast forward to like the 2020s, and it's like, oh yeah, most people do work from home now.
They're ahead of their time
since COVID, so way ahead of their time there.
Do you mind if I go run my dog out real quick? You made me wait.
Him up, please. So... He's making lots of noise.
It's a girl. Come here, girl. Coming. Hold on. I'll be right back. So before I took my dog out, we were talking about how just disruptive they are on this airplane. Like they took over the whole thing.
Most disruptive.
And then they this guy was a jerk. He's like, this is my seat. And but Steph and DJ were able to move up to first class. Danny I thought they said 3 seats were available. And I guess maybe that's where Becky went to because they all had lobster and ice cream.
I mean, the Becky being there too, by the way, just a coincidence.
A coincidence that she needs to go to Colorado and stop over. So that means they were, she was stopping over in Colorado. They were going there completely. So
yeah,
very good coincidence.
And
didn't
of
realize
course they didn't talk to each other or know this. They just, were like, oh, hey, I just saw you, the last 5 days at work and we work, all day together. But nobody mentions surprise,
What? By the way, did you notice? Or I mean, maybe you know the stuff, but the opening song was longer. It was like a longer, more lyrics that didn't go exactly where I was like, where the hell? What that? It was less people in the show, but
I learned that rewatching it because in my head I was singing, the version I remember,
and
but then it keeps going.
What the hell?
I forget when it changes. Maybe season 2. They changed the names. They changed the song. They really righted all the wrongs of season 1.
Yes, it's all good now. They and we talk about how they're disruptive. Well, after Michelle assaults this old man, pulls his wig off, she starts crying, and they make the whole airplane sing "The Girl from Ipanema" to calm her down.
That's what everybody wants to do on their flight to Colorado, entertain their child.
I noticed first class to the end of the plane was about 8 rows. So it's got to be like, there must be propellers on that plane. Now, unfortunately, the snow is so crazy that they have to stop at an airport, get stuck in a baggage claim, and Steph is all worried that Santa will never find them now. But I did notice at certain times that old guy, even though he didn't want to sit near them, he was like listening. He popped his head up. He was, showing interest. And I said, I think I know where this is going. I didn't know where it was going, but I thought I knew where it was going. Jesse's dad, I said, he's all horned up. I wrote down Jesse's dad is really horned up for Jesse to hook up with Becky.
Now, do we think here, do we think he's, a romantic and wants his son to find love? Do we think he just wants his son to get laid? Or do we think he wants to bang Becky and he's just like living?
He's just a perv.
Yeah, just living.
He just wants to ask Jesse. Now, Jesse, tell me in great detail what happened.
You have any pictures, son?
Yeah. Here. Do you see Danny's camcorder set up in the corner? What you do is I'll get you some good 2-way glass. That's what I use.
That's how you were born, son.
That's how all Gestapolis men are born.
That's how all Cochrane men are born.
Yeah, that's right. Everyone changes their name at their I couldn't think of anything.
On their 30th birthday.
I was going to say their circumcision, but yeah, on their 30th, yeah. Have mercy. We did get a have mercy in this. We did get a how rude in this.
Yeah. The characters I found were pretty, despite maybe the backstory is changing or the last name changing, the characters were pretty well defined from the pilot.
That's why I like watching. I've been watching episodes that are in a lot of them are in the 3rd season, because you're already right. You said, well defined.
Yeah,
you know what you get, what to expect from them. But that goddamn airport, they give you a small plane,
small airport.
Then they lose. They seem to have misplaced the bag with all the presents in it.
And we all know. I mean, I've seen my fair share of Christmas episodes over the years of living, and if they've taught me anything, it's that presents are the most important part of Christmas. So their Christmas
for DJ.
is effed. Their Christmas is effed.
Right.
There's no gifts, no Christmas. Cancel it.
DJ was going to get her new CD player. And
I mean, compact discs are, it's like
that was the future.
It's like gold.
I remember a guy left his CD player on the rock outside my house where people play basketball, and he had his Vanilla Ice CD in it. And I listened to Ice Ice Baby, and I was like, it is so crisp. It is incredibly crisp. But then he showed up and goes, did I leave my CD player here? And I said, yes, you did. I would have kept it until he showed up. I didn't know his name. I knew he lived in the neighborhood. I didn't know where he lived. But I was
remember when we had to rewind and fast forward like schmucks? Remember that?
I had that yellow Walkman. I would walk around listening to Ozzy Osbourne.
And then we found out the superior technology of the Discman that skipped like crazy until you had to have like 100 ESP.
And you'd have to lock it in, you'd mount it down and hope it wouldn't move, hope it wouldn't shake.
Those are the days.
I like the days where we had vinyl in the car. That was the easiest time.
Oh yes.
You could really get the nuance, the pop, the crisp. So Jesse, go back to the show. Joey shows up as Santa Claus, and we find out that Michelle is much smarter than Stephanie. Now, maybe Stephanie just wants to believe, but she thinks that it's really Santa. And Michelle's like, "Hi, Joey," doesn't miss a beat. And Steph pulls the beard off. She gets all pissed and goes and hides in a phone booth. Danny's blaming everything on himself. I don't know why. They were going on a family trip. I don't know why they didn't check the weather. They didn't know any weather was coming.
Right. I mean, isn't that the peculiar part, that the snowstorm's so massive that nobody saw it coming?
Nobody saw it coming, including the airplane. Like, you think
the airplane, right?
Waited it back in San Francisco.
Right.
But nope. This airline is awful. But then we get something very magical. Jesse gives this motivational speech about how, hey, the first Christmas they did it in a manger. We could do anything. He's like, "What do you see over there? Is that a coat rack? No, that's a tree. What do you see over there? Oh, that's a vending machine. No, it's a Christmas feast."
Yeah.
He's trying to get everyone to be in, to say, "We're going to have a great Christmas." They even get Steph there, but she doesn't seem very convinced.
Do we think, like, this seems to be a little, when you think of, Danny, Joey, Jesse, he's the least likely you would expect to give this motivational speech, right? So do we think, this being season 1, that being season 2 rather, that that's a choice that he's kind of out of character, or is he just not fully defined yet, or am I just remembering him as a more of a bad boy than he actually was?
I think he has his bad boy moments, but
he definitely has bad boys moments. He walked out on the family season 1, went to a ski launch with his buddies, and let me tell you,
but not
shenanigans on wine.
Was that at Christmas time?
It was not no. He would never go at Christmas time.
That's because Kostopoulos men want 2 things at Christmas. They want. Yes, that's what I was going to say. I caught myself, but I'm not editing it. They want some action, and they want family get together. And part of this could have been him trying.
Sometimes one and the same. That's why there's so much confusion with the last names. There's Cochran and Kostopoulos.
But he might have also been just trying to impress Becky. There's that.
Maybe it was, like, hey, look how sweet I am. Because I remember when they met, she wasn't really into his kind, his type, because
Greek. She's anti-Greek.
Specifically, people with the last name Cochran. So then he changed his last name.
He changed it for that, yeah.
But
it made the whole family change their name.
Yeah. The dad was more than willing. He saw how horned up
he was. Like, whatever it takes. We're Kostopoulos. We're known for good with women and great hair. They both had good hair. I'll give them that. It turns out that everyone's happy. Everyone seems to be enjoying themselves. But now we cut over and everyone is asleep, except Michelle in an airport. This baby's just wandering around, very safe.
Yeah.
In fact, Danny is asleep on the conveyor belt. She presses a button, sends him to his death, you'd think. Joey wakes up, and finally they're like, "Wake up, everybody. It's Christmas. It's Christmas." Danny comes back in again, covered in snow. He looks like a corpse.
He looks
dead. Absolutely dead.
He was like a Nikki Sixx, where he legally died for like
he was not moving, and he looked blue. And it was just like, wait, are they gonna have to like clear? They just bring him back. And then Jesse's dad again. He's like, "Hey, look at that. See that cup? That's a mistletoe in the airport."
Well, by the way, because nobody at all is concerned about dead Danny on the
Oh my
Everybody's just like,
God.
oh, is Jesse laid yet? Did he get
Right.
laid yet? Because Danny's dead. Who cares? His wife already died.
Thanks, guys.
His wife's already dead. His love story's already done. Let's move on to the next love story.
And we do, because Jesse asked Becky for the kiss under the mistletoe, and she seemed a little hesitant, but not really, because he's like, it is Christmas law, and she did not want to break the law. So she comes in for a little kiss, and then I wrote down va 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 voom. It goes on for a while where he actually says, he gives his line, have mercy. And she's like, oh, I can't wait to do that again next Christmas. She seemed a little overwhelmed, and I don't think she liked the fact how much she liked it.
Listen, I'm a huge John Stamos fan, and I think he's the perfect person to play Jesse. But there are times, this was one such scene where, I mean, I don't think I'm alone. I say I wish he was played by Joey Lawrence. We got a whoa. I mean, the scene kind of needed one. I'm just speaking as a professional screenwriter here. But
and as much as a whoa, it would be nice. I don't know. The Have Mercy was pretty. It was perfect. And Becky was like, she had to go. She just had to go, like, go to.
She took a shower.
Yeah, she was like,
a cigarette.
That's what. And it was so hot that some rando older lady came over for sloppy seconds and just stuck his tongue right down Jesse's throat. Yeah. He was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Now, after the sexual assault, another Santa shows up, but it's not Joey. In fact, he says, hey, why don't you pull on my beard? And I said, wait a second, the beard's going to come up. It's that old guy. It's Boss Hogg. But is it? I think it's the real Santa, because he waves his hand and magically the bag of Christmas presents arrive on the conveyor belt open. So the baggage claim probably stole everything. I mean, they were all the presents hanging out. They're like, wow, they go to see the presents. They turn around. Santa is gone. They go look at the old laptop that old guy was working on. A laptop from 1988, by the way, which like a tall screen. It was incredible. And it said, Merry Christmas, ho, ho, ho. And
I said, that's not nice to call Stephanie that. She's rude. Years away from her hoe phase.
Oh, God bless her. And so, and it looks like old print shop. I don't know if you remember print shop from the old Apple computers.
Oh,
that's exactly what it looked like. Said,
that's how we got our birthday party banners from.
Exactly. Yes. All the time. It said, thanks for the map, Stephanie. And it showed Santa. And everyone goes around. She's like, it really was Santa. They have their presents, even though Santa, I guess he brought their presents, but he didn't bring any other presents of his own, which was weird. Because usually some of these are like, that's not from me. Who's it from? Then it ends with a final message: happy holidays from our family to yours. Now, if this happy holidays came out in 2020, people would be like, happy holidays? You got to say Merry Christmas. 1988, they're saying happy holidays. Relax, everybody.
Yeah.
That was the end of our first Christmas show ever.
I'm going to sound like an old man for a moment. They just don't make. The other night, I saw a trailer for a movie, and I was like, they just don't make movies like they used to. And I got to say, Time Will Falls, they just don't make TV shows like they used to.
So what was this trailer? Now I have to know, old man.
I couldn't even tell you the name of it. It was like one of those trailers that was just like, everything is gray. Has like that gray filter.
And it's a pop song, but they slow it down to make it dramatic.
Yeah, exactly. It looked like every trailer you've seen for the last 10, 15 years, And I was like,
yeah.
I mean, I know old. If you go back, I'm sure old trailers have their all look kind of like the same.
Well, back then they'd have the guy talking over it.
Right. I missed that though.
Yep. That's right. One man. Mel Gibson. Antonio Sabato Jr.
I miss the days of real sitcoms. I love the Offices of the world and the Modern Families, but I miss the multi-camera sitcom with the live audience. Where the only place you get those anymore is like the Disney Channel, like the kids
Henry Danger on Nickelodeon. Yeah, right there too. It's another one. But you know where else you get that? You get that on a little show that came out decades later. I'm talking Fuller House, where we find out that the Tanner family is
the last name's been Cochran all along.
Right. The Tanner family is cursed because it seems like whoever gets married becomes a widow or a widower in the show. Because the same thing happened to DJ. She was now DJ Fuller. Get it? It wasn't just that there were. Wait, did you not watch this goddamn show?
I didn't. I watched the first season when it first came. I don't remember that.
I watched every episode and I knew what I was watching wasn't good. I knew. I go, this is corny. This is like silly. And I had to keep watching. I think I was like in love with Candace Cameron, before she left Hallmark because it was just too progressive, too liberal. Before I was like, oh, I forgot she's a Cameron. She's still a kook. But I mean, that show where everybody held up. Kimmy Gibbler even looked good. I don't mean like I'm trying to make it like good bad, but I mean everyone aged well. Steph, Kimmy Gibbler, and then
that's
there was
like the Saved by the Bell cast. Everybody,
and then all the grown-ups.
Not Screech, but
no, not Screech. He didn't. Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, God bless. Rest in peace, Screech. Dustin. Oh my God. He has 2 IMDb credits: Screech, and Screech's Porno.
He got, you know what though? He got more mileage out of Screech than Jaleel White ever got out of Urkel. So
that's true. That's true. Did you ever see? Oh God, it's the movie. It's not. I can't think of what the movie is, but it's John Favreau and Vince Vaughn, and they're trying to get into. It's not Swingers. It's the next one. And they're like
Couples Retreat.
No. No.
Is it Couples Retreat?
No. It was just.
Oh, I know the actual good movie.
Yeah,
the legit movie. Yeah. Do you remember Couples Retreat though? That dumb comedy.
I do. I don't think I ever saw it, but I knew.
I don't think it's John Favreau directed it. I don't think he did that, but he's in it with Vince Vaughn.
Peter Billingsley of they were all friends together from.
That's right.
Vince Vaughn. Wait a minute. What is that movie?
I do know what you're talking about. I don't think I ever saw it though.
They're trying to get into a club and they can't get in, and then Dustin Diamond goes by like, hey, they let him right in. He goes, did you just let Screech into that club? Like Vince Vaughn's freaking out because Screech got in the club instead of him. I just thought that was great. So I watched every episode of Full House to the point where I knew how the ending was coming. I was telling Tammy, said she didn't care, but she thought it was terrible. I go, now, spoiler alert, everybody. I go, this series is going to end with a triple wedding. I'm telling you, it did, and I teared up. I teared up at the proposal when Steve came back. I teared up at the end when they had the triple wedding. It was the saddest. Like, it's the most. I would like the least amount of pride I've ever had in myself. What is it? The most embarrassed I've ever been in my life. Most ashamed. It's shame, I think, is what I felt.
I would make fun of you, but I tear up every time I hear Mr. Feeney say "class dismissed" in the final episode of Boy Meets World. So
I teared up watching Modern Family today. I tear up so easy when they get you some sentimental part where they just start talking and they show them family. I'm just like, they know how to tug at your heartstrings.
You know what else I miss about old sitcoms are these Christmas episodes where, like, it's always grounded in reality, but then they always have, like,
magic,
Santa Claus and Christmas magic. Like just today, I'm on Disney Plus. June was I left work early today because June had to be home for illness reasons.
Oh,
and we're on.
How did you hold up a 6-pack of beer when you said illness reasons?
And so how like the streaming services now they do like they have like an entire holiday section. They do something like Halloween. And what I do like is that they have like any sitcoms they have, they'll like have like a whole playlist of like holiday.
That's good.
Like sitcom episodes, and Home Improvement, right? She's never seen Home Improvement. But she sees Santa Claus on the screen. So she's like, play that episode. So I put it on first time I've watched Home Improvement since it was like on the air.
Yep.
Does not hold up entirely well.
I would imagine it's a little corny and a little like it's misogynist, maybe. Like it's totally on his like oh man tools
yeah
caveman.
It's funny, like it got a couple smiles out of me, and but anyways, there's the youngest son there is the parents are, Tim and his wife are like, do we tell him Santa's not real? Because his older brothers told him that Santa died 6 years ago.
Jesus Christ.
So I'm watching this. I'm like, do I want my 4-year-old to be watching this? Because I don't want,
you don't want
Santa to be ruined for her.
Yeah.
So, but then, in Wilson, of course, the neighbor, they get a knock at the door, and Santa Claus is at the door. And you can tell it's Wilson. And all the characters
I think I remember what happens.
And all the characters acknowledge it's Wilson. They're like, oh, thanks, Wilson, for stopping over. But they play it off as the real Santa for the youngest son. But even the older brother's like, what are you talking about, Santa? It's Wilson. Like, and he gives the youngest son like the toy that he wanted. And, and wishes them a Merry Christmas. And walks out the door, and they're like, oh, that was Wilson. That was so nice of him to come over. And then they look right next door, and who's on the other side of the fence?
Wilson.
So then they all have this look of doubt on their face. And the little boy, the youngest son, I forget his name, he goes out the front door, and it just ends with him staring up at the sky.
Amazing. I always like when they look at each other and they go, nah, like, like that happened. Charles in Charge. Santa showed up. He thought it was Grandpa Powell, but no, it was Santa. Yeah. This episode, the real Santa showed up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if any other episode it happened. I don't recall. So I think, but it is always nice when the
Boy Meets World never did that because they're always rooted in reality.
Oh yes, of course, naturally. Oh yeah,
the
that's
only
true.
way that you get your elementary teacher to follow you all the way through college.
Yeah, you have to be realistic. You have to live next door to him. You have to be I don't know. Feeney had nothing, so I guess that. Did he have a wife? Was he a widow?
He wasn't a widow, and he didn't have a wife until he met the dean when they went to college, which was played by his real life wife.
Oh, okay. I knew there was some wife in there somewhere.
You can hear them talk all about it on Pod Meets World, which I definitely.
Or you can go back and check out Man Meets World, which are still some of the most successful videos on the Fans Not Experts YouTube channel.
Don't do it, people. They're not good.
Brandon's first foray into podcasting was his Boy Meets World podcast. Oh, and since then you've pretty much given up on it and focused on family. And me, I got nothing but this. I got my wife in the other room, but she's in bed by 8 o'clock, so all I have is time. Well, Brandon, what a Christmas!
It's been real. This has been a great Christmas Eve.
Wonderful Christmas Eve. Is there anything you want to plug or mention or anything anyone you want to say Merry Christmas to?
I will say Merry Christmas to you, Mike, and
have mercy,
and your lovely wife, who's the only one of the two of you I actually like. And
same, Merry Christmas to your wife and your kids that I still have never met because you moved far away and then the pandemic and it just never happened.
I know.
Never happened. Yet I'm best friends with Matthew's children. Oh, well.
Well, listen, you're more than welcome to disown Matt's family and come with my family.
Brandon, look up. What is that above us?
A mistletoe?
Oh, here I come. Merry Christmas, Brandon. Oh, have mercy.
How rude.
Oh, my God. Merry Christmas, everybody. It is Christmas Eve. I want to thank my cousin Brandon for getting on here, finally getting his computer turned on. I think he had to crank He had to turn a crank on the side to get it running, but he finally did.
Well, we talked about those old Apple computers, right? I somehow got Zoom running on it. It's amazing.
It is wonderful.
Yeah.
I hope everyone has enjoyed Christmas Eve. And if you're listening to this on Christmas Eve, I really appreciate it. I wish you had more plans than this. I wish this weren't your plans, but since they were, I appreciate it. Now, tomorrow, we will be back for one final episode, one final Christmas adventure. Brandon won't be joining me. I asked him to come and he laughed at me for about 15 minutes straight. I said, okay, I guess not.
I mean, listen, I would, but Tom Brady's back on the Patriots as of tonight.
What
it's a Christmas miracle.
And so wonderful.
We're never losing again. It's great.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
The world is right yet again.
Thank God. You can find Brandon over at Metallicast Pod on Twitter. And Metallicast over at Fans.Experts. Just search Metallicast anywhere. It is the Metallica podcast until, of course, Metallica started their own podcast. Now it's a Metallica podcast. And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, all that stuff. Mastodon.social at Geek Mentality or Mikey-C. Fans.Experts is the Facebook page. Fans.experts.com is the website. Brandon, any parting words? Any final words?
Wyatt.
That is a great inside joke. I
will say this.
Oh,
Wyatt,
you son of a bitch! Here,
and Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas, everybody!
Bless everyone.
Oh, how sweet! And here is my. It's so weird saying it when I'm looking. I did it yesterday with my friend. I'm looking you right in the eye, and I just theme song. This is my podcast. I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe. Cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time. And I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans, not experts.